Hello guys! Exciting news from England as Ajax boss Erik Ten Hag joins Manchester United as a new head coach from next season. Which players are the Red Devils gonna sign first? What does it mean to Cristiano Ronaldo? And how will the team's tactics change under the Dutch Guardiola? In this video, we'll answer all of the most important questions about that. Let's go! Ten Hag is leaving Ajax to lead United this summer. With the arrival in Manchester, the Dutch coach will be provided with a big transfer budget and complete freedom in signing new players. So the fans already can't wait to see new huge deals at Old Trafford. The first and most obvious transfer target for the Red Devils should be Brazilian winger Antony, who became a world-class superstar precisely under Ten Hag in Amsterdam. The 22-year-old prodigy is having an incredible season. Hence, he quickly became a target for many European heavyweights. Thus, the Red Devils will have to compete with Barcelona, Bayern and PSG in that race for the youngster. The Reds' second priority is improving the centre-forward position. For this, Manchester will return to the idea of signing Tottenham striker Erik, according to the latest from the Telegraph. The potential transfer of the England national captain will cost at least €100 million, without mentioning Manchester City's interest, as the Blue Manchester side is also on the hunt for the 28-year-old striker. So Ten Hag or Guardiola, Kane will have to choose only one between these bold men, right? Let the hunt begin then. Apart from that, United have long been interested in West Ham's defensive midfielder Declan Rice. But in this case, they will also have to pay a decent amount to get the captain of the Hammers to the Red side. Interesting to note that the Devils are closely watching the progress of 20-year-old Ajax center-back Jurrien Timber, as the Dutch press informed. Ten Hag considers this kid a big talent. And it totally makes sense, cause just imagine Erik's mental health after only 2 weeks of working with Harry Maguire. It looked like this. Sorry guys, we couldn't help ourselves. Consequently, we have at least 4 potential signings that Man UTD plan for the next summer transfer campaign. The future of Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the biggest questions the new boss will have to handle. Although the Portuguese superstar is already 37 years old, he is the highest paid footballer in the Premier League. And it's something the Manchester United payroll has to put up with. Given that fact, it's gonna be difficult to keep Ronaldo for another year, especially if the team fails to qualify for the Champions League by the end of the season. In this case, Cristiano himself might ask for a transfer, as playing in the Europa League is far below his expectations and dignity. Who knows, maybe that will get him to Paris, playing alongside Lionel Messi. But even if United make it to the top 4 in the end and Ronaldo stays at the club, we feel that Ten Hag is unlikely to be against it. Cristiano will be allowed to finalize the last year of his contract to say goodbye to the Manchester fans in the most beautiful way. However, it's not ruled out that Ronaldo will be benched more and more frequently at that point. And you guys, what would you do in this scenario? Would you sell Ronaldo or keep him in a team for another season? Let us know in the comments while we move on. Next summer, Ten Hag will part with a whole bunch of players. Most likely, these are center-backs Phil Jones and Eric Bailly, midfielder Nemanja Matic, Juan Mata and Jesse Lingard, and also Uruguayan striker Edinson Cavani. This list might expand with Anthony Martial, who literally failed the current season. And recall that French star Paul Pogba also intends to leave, with PSG, Real Madrid and UA in sight. While some players will still get the opportunity to start a new life at Old Trafford, Donny van de Beek is the most obvious unlucky guy that we bet Ten Hag will favor, after all. Erik was the person in Ajax under whom the 24-year-old midfielder became known as a new star in Europe back then, which is super important. At Manchester United, Donny had a poor experience with both Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ralf Rangnick. So, with Ten Hag's arrival, Donny will be finally free. Before we dive into Erik Ten Hag's tactics, let's talk about how he was able to get a job at United in general. The British press, all as one, indicate that the Dutch specialist impressed the Red Devils board with his ambitions, vision for the future, and plans for the youth academy. His intentions sounded much more convincing than Mauricio Pochettino and Luis Enrique, who were the two other contenders for the prestigious vacant spot participating at meetings with the United board. Exactly clarity and rigor distinguish Ten Hag from many coaches nowadays. He always demands a serious attitude to the matter from the lads. And let's admit, this quality has been lacking for so many years for the spoiled United boys. So this is probably the end for dancing and dabbing moves from the main party guy, Paul Pogba. Ten Hag's tactical education also speaks for himself. Having worked in the Bayern youth team from 2013 to 2015, he learned a lot from current Man City boss Dutch Guardiola. Erik often attended first-team training to absorb the delicate philosophy of the Spanish tactical geek. Ten Hag got Guardiola's wisdom and integrated it into Ajax football so successfully that the Dutch media began to call him Dutch Guardiola. And it's definitely for a reason. He has 2 gold medals in the Eredivisie, 2 victories in the Dutch Cup and 1 Super Cup trophy. And don't forget about the Champions League semi-final, a great achievement that the Amsterdam team reached under his management in the 2018-19 season. However, Erik does not just copy his teacher in everything as you might think at first. For example, he prefers the 4-2-3-1 formation more than the 4-3-3. For United, by the way, it's also more familiar. In this lineup, Ten Hag manages to maintain a balance between attack and defense, in a structure with 2 defensive midfielders and a playmaker wandering around the center forward. This differs markedly from Guardiola's work at Manchester City. For instance, if City have a defensive midfielder ruled out due to injury, the team immediately experiences problems. Remember last season's Champions League final, in which Pep overthought things too much and didn't play Rodri, which led to a loss of balance and eventually defeat against Chelsea. With that said, Ten Hag is much more reliable in this regard. His Ajax always tried to play as the dominant side on the pitch. Erik's football is all about ball control, but without overplaying it. He's in fact not a fan of Guardiola's tiki-taka, as Ten Hag always relies on a quick transition from defense to attack using vertical passes. Erik does not hesitate to dominate and set a high defensive line while maintaining the most compact structure in lines. In the defensive phase, he builds the game on pressing and counter-pressing. The attacking line is responsible for zonal pressing, which forces the opponent's defender to make mistakes, blindly clear the ball, or simply make awkward passes. In the center of the pitch, midfielders and defenders focus on intensive man-marking press. When tackling the ball and during the attacking transition, the defensive lines are positioned in such a way as to open diagonal vectors for short passes. This often leads to diamond formations. Fullbacks, in turn, can move up to the wing, while wingers open up some space for them, taking out the opponent's attention or cutting inside the half flanks. Ten Hag's game plans are complemented by frequent attempts by players to overload certain areas and perform false maneuvers, which opens up space for the attackers to run in behind. And all this, of course, unfolds in Erik's highly intensive quick football. In England, Erik Ten Hag can expand his coaching potential even beyond his limit, and we, of course, wish him to make the legendary Man United great again. Dear friends, don't forget to drop a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's analysis. That was the football. Thanks everyone for watching and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.